Time for y'all to wake up. I'm waiting to start one of my games, and I was going through some of the latest tragedy. I'm not even call it news anymore. It's just the ongoing tragedy saga that is Disney Star Wars. I was never a huge Star Wars fan. I liked it. I thought the prequels were terrible. But people of my age, the original trilogies are really all there is. And all this add-on, I don't know. My friends, I have some, my old gaming group I used to play with a lot locally. I had like 3 gaming groups I played with a lot locally. And they call themselves the Bad News Bears because they're the unluckiest. Bad rolls. Not understanding plot lines. I think that's a big thing. My buddy runs games for him, and I'm like, you've known these guys your whole life, and you don't know that you're giving them A, B sort choices to be the hero or this, and you don't realize that they're in their hearts that they're munchkins, and they're going to take option D. Right? Hasn't figured it out yet. Just be prepared. They're just going to do that. So I'm watching that tragedy, and like I said, my friends, local friends, they were really more into Star Wars than I was. I like science fiction, but I've never been a fan boy of any particular genre, any particular show. I was never one of those to dig in the canon to where like, oh no, here's the canon. I've never been that guy. I like it. I watch it. I know a little bit above average about it, but as for the person who knows every in and out of it, no, more of a broad general appreciation. Right. So they're really into Star Wars. Even one guy had a shrine, a spare room that had all these memorabilia and stuff. I called it the shrine. I like Battlestar Galactica, the original series, even Galactica 1980. I thought that was cool. Viper Cycles. And they also got really into Firefly. Now I painted up one of my BattleTech units in the colors of the rebellion off Firefly, which I thought was neat. An Orion, a couple hammers, and hammer anvil. What was the other one? Oh, a Hussar. I do like fast with the ER large laser. Keep running. You know, if you're chasing that, you're just giving your back to the Orion. That's how I run that lance. But anyway, yeah, Star Wars is dead. I don't know if you guys got the memo. South Park nailed it. Put a woman in it and make it gay, and that's what they've done. Some of this, even in the trailer, man, there's scenes where there's not a single dude. It's like the definition of chaos, a bunch of lesbians walking around the fish market. I mean, that's the vibe I'm getting. So, I'm watching that garbage. I didn't watch Andor or a couple of the others. I mean, I watched the first 2 seasons of Mandalorian and was like, oh, this is cool. Then I'm like, jump the shark. 3rd season, they always jump the shark. Anything good that you like, 3rd season, they just shit all over it. Every time. It's ridiculous. It's very few series that get better past the 3rd season. Or, it could be like Supernatural. Jump the shark every 3rd season, then 2 good seasons. Jump the shark. Just terrible. Then jump. And then go back. Repeat the cycle. And their power level is ridiculous. And then they're getting desperate at the end. It's like, oh, this is the big bad that was the roommate of X. This is so 90210 X-Files. It got so bad. My granddaughter's obsessed with it. My granddaughter binges it at 10. Ugh. If I want terrible, I'll go find me some Baywatch nights, which I am looking for. I think it'd be hilarious to watch it again. The Hoth. Well, this is all a long intro to get me back to Wretched Space, and I've been talking about Run Wretched Space. I'm just going to do it. I moved my days around. So that leaves me Monday through Wednesday evening for my gate kept table, which I'm adding an extra player to. Probably didn't properly vet, but I'm just tired. I can always boot people later. You're online, I don't really care about your feelings. If you're not my daughter, my wife, daughters, and my grandchildren, I don't give a shit about your feelings. I will stomp on them and just not give it a second thought. Sorry, not sorry. Concentric rings of connectivity, people. Understand how that works, and look how you interact with people and what you really care about. And it'll start making more sense, in my arrogant opinion. But so, Wretched Space. I want to run a dystopic future. I'm going to be hard on the corporations because mega corporations kind of irritate me now. I could just imagine in the far-flung future when they literally are doing aliens level stuff without regard, right? So, a alien galactic federation that is just not up to snuff and is horribly corrupt. All this works into that Blade Runner feel and stuff, and I'm going to go with that. I just need to get me a few players together. I'm debating if I want to do it on Fridays. Miguel offered to let me run and him just play. And I'm just weird about that. I don't know. It's the only day I get to play now. The only day. And I've never run a hardcore sci-fi game before or a modern system too much. Last modern system I ran was 3E and never again. I do like how Wretched caps the number of points you can put into a skill at 5. Makes sense. And everything else is synergy, which makes that TN 30 impossible one really hard to hit. 20s and 25s pretty, 20s difficult, and then the 25 TN is very difficult to hit. As it should be, right? It's supposed to be. You should be thinking up ways to get you some bonuses to that rolls, whether that's equipment, which I don't see equipment bonuses in their game as part of the rule sets. But as a GM, that would be something to be like, oh, you have the best equipment, therefore give you a +2 roll. You have AI support, which I've never seen anybody use. It's right there in the game. It's in there. Why not have an AI assistant? Which was how I could see the future use of AI where it doesn't take over everything. Like the thinking machines ruled in Dune. When we talk about that, AI took over and then the humanity revolted, and that's why you can't have pure AI. You have the weirdos for the Dune lore people, which just seems to be real big in the yakosphere at the moment. But yeah, I'm going to run some Wretched Space. I need to get that printed so I can have it referenced here on my table because it doesn't print well. Get back to your formatting, dude. So much black. It's rough. Glad I got an ink tank. Buy that shit by the gallon. I miss my laser printer though. I should probably try to fix it. It keeps snapping to drums. It just snaps them. That's going to be belt, and I'd have to take the whole thing apart. I really want to do that. Don't want to take apart 30-year-old printer, 20-year-old printer. Nah. Not the kind of hobby I want. So yeah, human focused. And no, not answering damn phone calls. And makes aliens the minority. I think that's when we go some space. Sometimes we go a little over the top with the aliens, and everybody's an alien. We do it a little too much in fantasy too. So I want aliens to be 10% of the population, and they keep to themselves. Which in the vastness of space, you would have to go out of your way to intermingle with each other on space stations. So space stations, yes. Planets would be dominated by one race or the other unless it's a major metropolitan or a trade center. Then you'd have other races in there that add up. Otherwise, good fences make good neighbors, and people have in-group preferences. And when your in-group preference might include other jelly people or other four-armed freaks who have a completely different worldview plus environmental concerns. Some of us prefer it hot, some of us prefer it cold as human beings. Now, what if there's aliens who've grown up in an environment that is literally intolerable for you as a human being? Then how would those environmental concerns work in a town, right? So someone's going to be living in bubbles, little bubble cities, and hoping that no one cracks the environmental stuff, so they don't freeze to death at 80 degrees. 80 degrees Fahrenheit, what are those in Celsius? And yeah, there's extra, so many extras. I just want to do a whole human crew, maybe cyborgs, and replicants would be rare, androids, because then you become immortal, and you would start out as property. Someone made that, and that's someone's property. So why are you not property anymore? Or if you're part of my concept for salvage Marines going down on missions, do they want to be? I got to have session 0 multiple times. I want to record the character creation process for each person. I do. First, figure out how to do this recording stuff. I'm not real. I use my phone, just point it at me and go. Simple. And I don't want to spend hours editing. I don't want to spend 15 minutes editing. All right? It's all raw. And that's how we play, right? We play raw. We just off the cuff. It's the best way to do it. Wing it. All its warts and gaps and bad takes sometimes. I don't know. I'm just kicking stuff around as I finish off my crappy coffee this morning because I'm about out of my monk fruit. I am out of monk fruit. I don't feel like going to get it. You're right. It's a little too peoply. It's a little too chilly out. No, just to go get one little thing. No, I'm not doing it. No. I just went over what I was making for dinner and stuff the next couple of days. I need to get a cow. I need to get another cow for sure. And it's almost grilling season, folks. If you want me to put some of my grilling videos up, let me know. Bubba likes to cook. I throw recipes up in my Discord channels occasionally. And I think I perfected my chaffle recipe because we went hardcore keto core carnivore, and the wife's chaffles, I hated them, so I made my own. They're better. Alright, I think I'm done killing time, but Star Wars is dead. Long live wretched space. It's grimier, it's grungier, and you can make it as space opera as you want, like Star Wars. They even have some kind of night of something in there if you want to do the Jedi stuff, or Sith Lords. You are wretched after all. And I'm shooting for dystopic future heroes of fortune. Maybe either the Salvage Marines, where you want to do intrigue versus other corporations, like corporate sabotage, which give you that cyberpunk feel. If people really want to do the mega city, and in an automated mega city of the future, I could see that being kind of like a mega dungeon. Because the complexes could be very large but very automated with not a lot of people around. You just be running around. And if everything's not locked, it's not very used very often. And then you have where the population is, service and maintenance, and then the under. So instead of the sewers and stuff really being on the bottom, they might be in the middle, and then the underclass lives in your Blade Runner streets where all the crap from up top falls down. You're underneath these huge buildings or floating cities. Maybe even cavernous cities, depending if it's on an asteroid or whatever, right? So many possibilities. So I've been watching old crappy sci-fi, Space 1999, and Battlestar Galactica. It's not crappy. And Firefly and others to get ideas. And Firefly is a Western in space. I can see people getting into that. Because the tech level from the planet you visit is going to vary because of resource management and the distances in space, you make do what you have next here. So you could have medieval level huts and farming with solar panels and windmills up, right? Because it's just not worth it to run power out to these remote areas. You have 500 acres, you have 1,000 acres, you have 10,000 acres, and a lot of robots do a lot of your menial labor, right? And then there's just you and your family. And depending on the climate of the planet, you may not need all that extra stuff. So why have it? So you could have a 19th century home with computer terminals in there. I think that would be out. Look how we become in these nostalgia loops we have now, right? We have nostalgia loops now. Imagine the far-flung future, that being worse. All right? So that's how I'm going to run a nostalgia loop. So you can see greasers in space. I actually made my chickenoids greasers. I thought it was funny. And you could have a planet that was founded by people from Texas, and suddenly it's just the planet of Texas, and people are just like that, but not the Texas today. Maybe the Texas, a nostalgic view of Texas of like the 19th or 18th century. You can have all kinds of fun with this. You could have a steampunk world, but maybe not a steampunk world. That's just kind of fanciful. But you have this high tech mixed in with low tech, and compact communities on planets, stuff like that. Yeah, because when you get to a point where automation takes over, you don't need as many people. So why would there be as many people, right? But people thrive, right, on the fringes and stuff. So they would go out to the fringe and start from scratch. People love to do that. That's what true freedom is. Homesteading and being on the edge of society. Because as soon as people start to stack on top of each other, your freedoms and your rights all start to diminish. Because people form factions and start to limit what you can do based on what they think. Not necessarily for the greater good, not necessarily for what's best for everybody, but sometimes just because they fucking can. It's the nature of the world, people. People are douchey sometimes. You can tell I'm a little jaded as I've gotten older. And I'm probably going to imprint that into my sci-fi game, make it dark and a little twisted. Although some of the things I think that are being pushed on us now fall flat in horror because we're just kind of jaded now. So the whole concept of cannibalism is a huge taboo, but they're trying to normalize it now. And same with bug burgers. So in the future, would you have organic food, and then with that tinkering with it, be a turn off to large sections of society? Maybe if they knew it called mutations, but the company doesn't care and people don't care, or they hide the truth. But could Soylent Green actually be made today and be all that creepy? It should be. Most people are still going to be repulsed from it. Maybe some aliens just think the idea of eating other sentient beings is repulsive too. So a Clarice or whatever they call them, or like, eat people. Ugh. You little scrawny people, why eat them? There's no meat on them bones. Stuff like that. So we'll see. I'm going to start it soon. Maybe do a trial run on Tuesday or Wednesday next week if I can find 4 players. And I will keep you informed. Maybe I'll try to record it. Make a playlist channel. So we'll see. Get wretched, get wrecked, y'all. Later.